What do you get when you cross Barbie and Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas? Well, you get this one, my next doll. So I call this makeover When Barbie Met Sally. I hope you guys get the movie reference. If not, doesn't matter. Okay, let's start. So I have this doll. I know she's Monster High, but I'm not quite sure who she is. So if you do know her, please leave a name in the comment. I got her from a charity shop, I think, or maybe from a flea market. I normally get them second hand because I quite like that they have a story that they're being played with, which this one has been. Her hair is really gluey. It's really like sticky to touch, if I'm honest, at this point. So I'm glad I'm cutting it all away. Yeah, it is not nice. And I'm actually shaving it because I really want to get as much of it gone as possible. And it really needed it. It was just so sticky. And because it's so sticky, I'm trying to shave off as much as I can, even though I am going to take all the hair off. It just makes it a bit easier when I'm going to take the head off as well. So right now I'm just going to take the earrings off. I will keep these for another doll maybe. Now I'm going to dunk her head in boiling water. It just helps loosen the head a little bit when I take it off. Makes it just a bit more easier to do. And I suggest you do it if you want to take these heads off because they can be quite fragile. The neck is really thin and I have snapped it a couple of times. So definitely try this method if you want to take the heads off. And next I just use a screwdriver to scrape all the hair off from the inside. It does have a lot of glue, so do take your time on it. But once it's all done, I am ready to remove all of the paint. So I'm going to start with her head and then I'm going to do her face as well. And I'm just using acetone. You kind of want the 100% one because it just makes it that much easier to do. And yeah, this bit's actually really satisfying. I don't know why, it just is. Like, I really enjoy doing this bit. You have to be careful though not to do it too much because then you will start melting the face. But now I've got a clear head and it is ready for painting. So I will start painting the roots, which is going to be red. This is just so it doesn't show up across the hair. And as you can see, yeah, it looks pretty. I am using wool for this makeover because Sally has red hair, but because she's kind of like a rag doll, it kind of looks like wool. So that's kind of why I'm using wool for this makeover. I actually really like using wool as well. It's so much quicker to do. Like, this hair took me about maybe two and a half hours rather than normally about 6 to 8 hours if you do plastic like nylon hair. So yeah, and I really like the look as well. It looks really nice. So I think I will do it a bit more going forward. But now I'm getting her face ready for painting. So for the makeup on her face, or rather the whole repaint, I am following kind of more Sally's face. So she has a scar across her face and she also has it across her lips. Then I don't think they're really scars. She's meant to be a zombie slash Frankenstein's bride kind of thing, I guess. Frankenstein's monster. No, she is Frankenstein's monster. Not she's meant to be. She is Frankenstein's monster. She is like he's made from the film. You know, it's been a really long time since I watched the film. But anyway, she is, yes, a kind of zombie thing. So she is all stitched together pieces. And that's what I'm doing here. I am putting in the stitch marks, keeping it irregular, more realistic. I'm making the face really simple. I'm not trying to do kind of realistic eyes or really detailed face painting. I am just trying to make it more like her. She has big googly eyes. When I mean big googly eyes, I mean she basically has big white balls for eyes with little dots. They all kind of do in the film, so that's what I'm going for. I'm going for her face rather than Barbie's face. So here you go. This is kind of what she looks like and I am super happy with it. Now I'm going to start on her fringe. I've already done a ponytail at the back, which I'm happy with, so I'm just going to cut the fringe and I'm going to do it in really small steps. Now if you've seen another video of mine, I've done the kind of same hairstyle for the Billie Eilish doll, and in that video I messed up the fringe really badly. So I don't want to do the same thing for this doll. I am super cautious now when I cut the fringe. Luckily with this one, if it goes wrong, I can put the hair back in quite easily. But I still want to get this done the first time round, and luckily it's not been that hard to do. I did have to take a bit out in the middle later on because it was bunching too much, but generally it wasn't too bad actually, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so she looks like this, which I'm quite happy with. And now I'm going to make her some lovely earrings, which is really simple. They're just metal hoops. I think the long thing is for a jewelry. I don't know what they're called. I just have them, when you do crafts and stuff, you just have things. So I do know they're for actual like beads and stuff, but I have this for earrings. I'm sure you can find this in any hobbycraft kind of store. But here, there you go. Really nice simple earrings, and yeah, she looks fab. So now that I've done the face and the hair, I'm going to move on to her body, and I'm painting her body in the same way. Again, she's meant to be Frankenstein's monster, so I'm doing it in pieces first. I'm doing the joints in a different kind of color than the stitches. So this is kind of a light gray with blue tones into it, and then I am doing the top stitching, and I'm doing it quite rough. They're not trying to be perfect. They're kind of meant to be irregular, like kind of done by hand. And yeah, I done this, and once I've done it, I have coated it in Mr. Super Clear. I think I've done like just to make sure it doesn't rub off, and there you go. So now I am moving on to the fabrics, and I have these actual not scraps. I actually cut these on purpose, but I cut them to make long strips, and to make this I made my own fabric, and I faced the back so that it is strong and it won't fray too much. And then I've cut out pieces of a swimsuit, and I am just sewing them. It's actually quite simple. So I sew the crotch, and then I sew the side seams and the front, and that's it. There's not much sewing to it. And then I'm going to put it onto the actual dough itself and stitch her in, because normally I would put Velcro, but I really want this on the bodice really tight so that it is just like figure hugging. I am using double-sided tape on the bust so that it is secure and it stays in place, so that it doesn't move around. Just, you got to really. I do this on most of my dolls actually when I want something really tight on the front. And here you can see I am doing some really basic stitching. Again, just to kind of match, this doll kind of really rough hand stitching effect and everything. So you're meant to see the stitching. It doesn't need to be super neat, which is, other things I would do super neat, but this one I wanted to give it kind of that rough edge to it. So yeah, I have just basically just kind of tacked her in. And again, with this one, I feel, especially with Monster High dolls, if you want something really fitted, you have to do this, because Monster High bodies are super narrow and you can't get a really good fit with woven clothes. So yes, this is what I've done, and she looks really good. So I'm happy with her, and I'm going to move on to her shoes. Now for her shoes, I am using Milli Putty. I am making bespoke shoes for this doll. They won't come off, but to be fair, this doll isn't one of a kind, and bought shoes are gonna be enough. So I am using the Milli Putty, and I'm shaping it around her feet. I'm making little sandals, the type that the original Barbie, the very first Barbie, has. She has little black shoes, and so I am doing that for this doll. I'm gonna just put all the Milli Putty into shape first, and then I'm using a skewer which I have cut into length, and I'm just poking it in, and then I'm using a bit more Milli Putty to pull it secure. And once it's all done, I will dry it, and I will sand it, and I will paint it. So here you can see it's all quite good. It's now been dried for like a couple of hours, maybe about 4 or 5 hours at this point. And once it's ready, I'm going to paint it. And I'm just using black. This is just black acrylic paint. And I have to do about 1 or 2 coats for this. And this is a lot trickier than I expected, because I didn't want to paint her feet. So this took maybe like an hour. Not even exaggerating. This was like long, tedious work. So yeah, but she looks, I mean, come on, the shoes are amazing. So I have these glasses, and I have painted them white. Actually, I spray painted them white because I didn't have the white ones. And I have put, it's a bit hard to see here, but I have put double-sided tape, and I have cut out using just like a plastic bottle, and I've kind of stenciled around it with the glasses shape frames, and there you go. It's just really nice and easy. and now she's ready to be one again. Now, just want to shout out to Doljunk, who is a friend of mine. He advised me that you can actually cut off the pointy part of the tab thing, so you can put the head back on. Just make sure you don't cut the whole white thing off. Anyway, so now I'm putting the glasses on, and yeah, she looks like a librarian. So anyway, I'm gonna cut her hair to knee length because yeah, she just needs it. It was just too long, and yeah, now she's finished. So this is what she looks like originally. She looks cute, but now this is what she looks like finished, and I am super happy with her. She looks amazing. This is one of my favorite dolls that I've ever done a makeover of. I quite like that it's like two iconic characters into one thing, and I absolutely love her. I've hoped you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and subscribe. I also have a Patreon, and yes, if you would like to support a starving artist, please support me on Patreon. I'm also having a doll convention next year. Links are in the description, and I also do monthly doll meetups as well. So yes, I know it's a lot. All information is in the description, and yes, hope you like this video. Please subscribe, and thank you very much. Okay, bye.